The first thing you need to do is open Photoshop. So click this symbol right up here in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and then you need to sign in with your account. Once you're signed in, click the Apps tab right here, and then it will show all the different apps that are installed on your computer. And then you just click on this arrow right here and find the one that's current, and you can click on it and it should open the app. When Photoshop opens, you'll get a welcome screen that looks like this. You'll click here and say create a new document. And this is where you identify the size that you want your document to be. Right now it's defaulting on my computer at 7 inches by 5 inches. That's pretty small. So I'm going to make it the same size as a piece of printer paper. So we'll go 8.5 by 11. That's 8.5 by 11 inches. You can choose if you want it to be portrait or landscape. And then the resolution, go with 300. If this says anything other than 300, change it to 300 because you want it to be high enough resolution that it won't be blurry or pixely. So make sure your resolution is set to 300 pixels per inch, and the color mode's fine. All this rest of this stuff is fine. And then you say create. That's how you create a document in Photoshop. Now we're going to use the paintbrush tool to practice doing a little bit of drawing. So the paintbrush tool is right here. It's the 5th or 6th one down, and it just looks like a paintbrush. So click on that, and I'm going to show you a few basic things to do with your paintbrush tool. First of all, to change the size, you use the right bracket key and just press it over and over, and your paintbrush will get bigger. And the left bracket key makes the paintbrush smaller and smaller. And so once you start drawing, it just makes whatever shapes you want to make. To change the color, you click down here on this box, and it pulls up this color picker window right here, and you can slide this on the color spectrum to any color that you want, and then you can do hues and tints and shades of each color. So if you want a pure saturation of that color, then you go up to this corner and it's got no white or no black in it. But if you want to add black, move it down here. If you want to add white, move it over here. And if you want to add black and white, then you move it over this direction. And then you choose your hue right here. That's where you select what hue you want. And then click OK, and then it's going to paint in that color. Again, right bracket makes it bigger, left bracket makes it smaller. And some other things I want to show you is you can choose different brushes. So if you click this arrow right here, where is it? Right here, and then you click on general brushes. You can choose different styles and different types of brushes. There's also dry media brushes right here, and wet media brushes, and some special effects brushes. So any of these brushes, you can select that brush, and then now that's the brush that's active, and when you paint, you'll get a whole variety of different effects depending on which brush type you choose. So experiment with that and try some different brushes. I'm going to go back to a basic brush just to show this next concept, and I'm going to choose a hard brush. You can also adjust the hardness or softness of the brushes with this slider right here. So right now it's 100% hard, so the edges will be crisp on one side and the other. And then if I go here and choose a soft brush, then it's fuzzy, so it has soft edges. So that's how you change the hardness of your brush and how you change your brush type. So the next thing I'm going to show you is opacity and flow. And I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to throw this one in the trash. So when you paint, it's going to default to 100% opacity right here and 100% flow. So that means the brush is painting full blast. And if I change the opacity down to a lower opacity, now it's not going full blast, it's partially transparent. I'll move that up a little bit higher so you can see it. So right now it's 50% opacity, so everywhere I color, it's going to color that in 50% opacity as long as I hold the brush down. Now if I let go of the brush and press again, then it's going to layer those together. And if I let go and press it again, it's going to layer them together again. So every time I lift up the brush and press it back down, it's going to make it darker and darker and darker. But I have to lift up and press down again each time. So that's how opacity works. Flow works in a similar way. And the only difference though is that you don't have to keep lifting your brush up and putting it back down. So if I paint a bunch of lines right here, if I go back and just scribble over the same spot, every time I go back over it, it's going to get more and more opacity to it. So you can just kind of fill it in, kind of the same way as if you were coloring in with a pencil or something like that. So if you keep going back those same areas, it will keep filling it in. So that's the way opacity works and the difference between opacity and flow. With flow, you don't have to keep picking your brush up again, and it controls how much it's going to come out when you're painting. And then the opacity, you do have to pick your brush up again. You can keep it at one opacity, and as long as you hold the brush down, it won't get any darker until you lift the brush up and press it down again. So that's opacity and flow. That's how you change brush sizes. That's how you select different brushes and how you create a basic document in Photoshop, and how to change your colors. And don't forget, the brush size, to change the brush size, is right bracket and left bracket key on your keyboard. That's short.